What is up, pups? That was from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, by the way. And the reason why I play that is that we are on, well, at least self given episode 100 of the Power Up podcast. That's probably not true. All the more reason for it to not be true is because then I could play that clip again. But who's to say that I could not play it all the time, you know? But what is up? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's another show out there that just talks about pop culture, see what's happening in the old pop culture news, the good, the bad, the ugly, and give my 2 cents on the matter. You dig? You dig? Camera. Oh, that doesn't work at all. Adjust that a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that. Fuck. Yeah, that's a tad bit better. That is a tad bit better, I think. We'll fix it later. Yo, what's up, Scotty? How's it going? But yes, it is Wednesday. We got some news that we can talk to, or news that we can talk to. That doesn't make any sense. We've got news that we'll cover. If you're new to the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. And then also listed in the descriptions on YouTube and Rumble, and then on Linktree on my X account, you can find my other social media. And that is the platforms we are on today: YouTube, Rumble, and X. I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I believe Sparking Zero is coming out. I got the basic edition, so we'll be gaming during that. And a lot of people are apparently getting whooped by Ozaru Fujita. So I hope my body can take it when we come up to him. But I've played Budokai Tenkaichi a good chunk of my life, I guess you could say, when it first came out. I was more Budokai, but I have played Tenkaichi. So we'll see. We'll see how I do. I ordered a new mic earlier today, along with some stuff I'll need later, says Scotty. Nice. Hopefully that'll come in and it'll get you started to what you need to do. Let's see. But make sure I have everything ready to go. I do. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you're new. Punch that thumbs up. Ring the bell to get notified when I go live. YouTube, Rumble, and X. And of course, YouTube is YouTube, so who knows if you get notified on YouTube, but for sure, Rumble and X. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop into it. Luckily, a lot of, I guess you could say, encouraging, uplifting stories as well. Let's see. I didn't mean to really show that, but I was trying to look for, seeing what games are released today, but that's all right. I got to remember to like the tabs over here. Game facts. Look at me already doing terrible this day in gaming. All right, we've got, there we go. All right. But starting off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the Alarmo. Apparently, Nintendo has released an alarm clock. It'll be available at retail in early 2025. This is from Video Game Chronicle. Priced at $100, but Switch Online members can get it now. Why? I'm sorry, but this is efficient enough. The phone. Now, obviously, some people will be like, well, I want, like a Garfield alarm clock. You see those out there. So it's like, yeah, that'd be pretty fun to have, but is it necessary? So in addition to playing sounds inspired by Nintendo games to wake up the user, the clock reacts to body movement by playing other sounds from the company's games. Yeah, and if you watch the video here, you've got, your Mario coins. I love how they used Splatoon's paintball like shooting sound, which I thought is funny because it's like Okay. It's like, because that's what I love to hear, like being woken up from a good night's sleep, is the sound of bullets flying, whether that's paint bullets or actual bullets. It's silly, but it's interesting. And yeah, it's interesting. I'll give it that. So users can snooze the alarm with gestures and end it simply by getting out of bed or by pressing a button if they prefer. Alarmo can also keep a record of the user's movements while they're asleep. That's interesting because I'm wondering, man, that'd be like, I'm not sure exactly what that's for. Like, I took one of those sleep apnea tests and they like monitor your movements and stuff to like see if you're like breathing, you know, to see if you have sleep apnea and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's kind of the same thing, but that you have to like wear on your, put like on your chest and all that stuff. Shove some like nose plug up your nose. Really annoying. And it's hilarious because it's so uncomfortable. So of course they're gonna rank it like, oh yeah, you have moderate, sleep apnea. And it's like, well, it's hard to sleep when you're like literally wearing a machine. So in the US and Canada, Alarmo will be available at retail starting in early 2025 at the suggested price of $99.99. However, Nintendo Switch Online members in the US and Canada can purchase it now via the My Nintendo store and in person at the Nintendo New York store. NSO members in Europe will be able to purchase Alarmo later this week. That name, I do like the name Alarmo. So simple, but yet funny. Oh, Alarmo. It's like just add a O to anything, you know. Oh, Lampo. Oh, Microphono. But there is a phonograph. So Alarmo responds to your bodio's movement with game sounds. So you can feel like you're waking up in the game world itself, according to Nintendo. All right, look, I like checking out just like much as anybody, but I don't need that when I wake up like first thing in the morning, you know. Set an alarm inspired by 5 Nintendo games with more alarms on the way as free updates as to become available. Now, here's the thing. If you can make your own custom stuff, then that can be interesting. And I understand, like, yeah, definitely waking up to video game sounds is cool. I mean, let's be real. Especially if you can incorporate, like, your favorite OSTs. So Nintendo users can choose up to 35 scenes inspired by Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Pikmin 4, and Ring Fit Adventure. In the morning, you'll experience immersive sounds and music from the scenes you pick. Rise to sounds of the Mushroom Kingdom with Mario and friends. Begin your day's adventure with Link and Princess Zelda, or start fresh from the Inklings from Splatoon 3. Definitely one of the odd choices, but some of the memes are pretty funny. The Guardian sound effect would definitely put people on edge. Yeah, like, can I wake up to the, like, I don't know, like the Resident Evil theme? Just lying there, and then all of a sudden, just Resident Evil, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's happening. To coincide with the announcement, Nintendo has published a Q&A with two of Alarmo's creator, EPD producer Yosuke Tamari, who was previously involved in Splatoon and Nintendo Labo. Look at that. See, they're just adding O to everything, Labo. And TDD director Tetsuya Yakama, who helped design Switch's Joy-Con grips. At the nut time, I'm sure people will make a means to customize it or somehow showcase it. Someone will figure out what to do. First and foremost, I hope this product will establish a new convenience for waking up, says Akama. You wake up, enjoy listening to the game world for a while, and just by getting out of bed, a fanfare will play automatically and the alarm will stop. I hope that being able to change how waking up that day feels by choosing a different alarm sound will become a global standards in the future. Man, just wake me up. Before you go, don't leave me hanging like a yo-yo. Just a touchscreens and automatic doors are commonplace for today's generations. I'm excited to see a new generation that grows up with Alarmo and thinks of an alarm as something that makes a sound when you roll over and stops automatically when you get out of bed. I mean, isn't that like what an alarm clock is already? It's just that you might manually have to turn it off. Hey, I'm not bashing the guy, but it feels like what he's saying is already implemented. You're just taking away like a couple steps here and there. You don't have to touch it at all when using it daily, although from time to time you might feel like checking how long you slept, if there are any updates. I want Alarm World to be a presence that gently supports you and accompanies you in your daily life without you having to take care of it. As Akama-san mentioned, I hope this establishes a new convention in everyday life. Interesting. I feel like I don't need an alarm in my life because you're already technically carrying a clock around in your pocket. Every person has that. It's called your phone. But hey, you know what? People enjoy it. Go ahead and enjoy it, you know? You do you. So coming from that park place, I remember seeing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crowns, and it looks like, or crown, not crowns, just one crown, and it looks like another sales loser. Oh, who would have guessed? And Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown appears to be another sales loser for Ubisoft. The game was released on Steam at the beginning of August, only hit a peak concurrent player count of 1446. It had previously released on the Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation back in January of 2024. And in 2 months since it's been released, the game only has a 24-hour peak concurrent player count of 217. That is a decline of nearly 85%. And then estimated sales figures appear to reflect the poor counts. VG Insights estimates the game only 38,600 copies, while Play Trackers estimate it sold 53,200 copies. I think they forgot to add the word sold in front of the 38,000. To put that in perspective, PlayerTrack estimated that Concord sold 20,800 units, while VG Insights estimated it sold 25,700. It's also quite possible that this game's poor numbers it's also quite possible that this game's poor numbers along with Star Wars Outlaws, and X Defiant also accounted for Ubisoft significantly lowering its sales expectation for the second quarter. Yeah, remember when they're like, sign up for X Defiant and we'll give you 9 virtual bucks. And it's like, oh, someone must be doing terrible. And like, no, we're doing just fine. And then it was like, yeah, we're doing bad. Oh, rip Ubisoft. Oh, you're done. In a press release at the end of September, Ubisoft announced that it was significantly cutting back its expenses from the second quarter, from 500 million to between 350 and 370, decrease of 30%. It's also noted it was lowering its yearly expectation to around 1.95 BN and around break-even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. And then they explained the revised targets are mainly a reflection of decisions taken for Assassin's Creed Shadows and the softer than expected launch for Star Wars Outlaws. Softer than expected. That was just straight flaccid. You fools. If we're talking soft, if you catch my drift. Okay, so in an accompanying trading update call, CEO Yoves was asked by Nicholas Langlant of BNP Paribas, so the key Q2 guidance, is it only Star Wars Outlaws or is there something else underperforming in the portfolio? He responded, it mostly reflects the softer than expected sales for Star Wars Outlaws. We also had behind expectations for X Defiant, which we will give you a bit more detail at the end of October. So that's already... Oh, no, that's... I was going to say that's already passed, but, like, we're literally in October. Dude, this year, man. The year sucks, and it's going by quick. So while he did not mention Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, it's quite possible Quite possible, based on the player count we are seeing, that this game did not meet sales expectation as well. And then what do you make of the Lost Crowns player count, an estimated sales figure on Steam? I mean, to be expected, honestly. To be expected, because you saw this. And if you're trying to have this attached to the already, like the PS2 trilogy of Prince of Persia, you failed. In fact, I thought I remember someone saying they like made a skin of the OG or of the prince. I can't. Is he just the prince? I feel like that he actually has a name, but I cannot remember it. But the prince. And like some people are saying, like throwing that skin on and then playing the game, like it's passable. But that's really bad if like literally a skin makes a difference of you wanting to play the game or not. Like that's not good. But there you go. That game was a weird one. Yeah, I mean, I played the OG PlayStation 2 trilogy. Awesome. I played the 360 version. Interesting. I didn't mind it, but I never popped it in again once I beaten it. I do remember that being a big thing when the credits were rolling and you could still move around and stuff. Like everyone was like, "Oh, that's so cool." But now it's like, you know, some games probably do that already. Or a lot of games probably do that already, or it's become kind of the norm. This one I immediately passed because it's like, nah. If I want to play the Prince of Persia game, I'll play the PS2 one. I know there's like the Nintendo ones and stuff, but I didn't grow up with that. Let's see. Seems like we have like some solid articles up here that are uplifting more than down. So we'll continue with the down ones. But I mean, down as in like it's laughable. So there is a rumor from That Park Place article that Halo Studios scrapped Halo Infinite 2 after choosing to develop new projects in Unreal Engine 5. Yes, this is the big talk that we're seeing currently. 343 Industries transforming, rebranding into Halo Studios, them showing Master Chief and, the other people in the Unreal Engine 5. Master Chief, to me, looking super fat, rocking that dad bod. And people are pointing it out, and they're pointing out the one chick that's like kind of ahead of it. But supposedly an alleged former Halo developer claims that 343 Industries, now Halo Studios, scrapped a planned Halo Infinite 2 project when the company decided to develop new projects in Unreal Engine 5. This rumor comes from YouTuber Rebs Gaming. He shared this information, which was shared with me by my source, who I used in my Halo Infinite campaign reports, and was a former Halo developer, reveals how Halo Studios' new leadership drastically changed the course of Halo's future. Oh, I mean, that was a given. My friends and I played a little bit of Halo Infinite and then just dropped off after playing it because it's just like this just sucks. Dude, look at that smiley face right there. He elaborated. So right after Halo Infinite was released in December of 2021, 343's campaign team began developing Halo Infinite 2 in the Slipspace engine. Next, he shared what his source told him. We moved right over to Infinite 2 and started making stuff. We had such high hopes for Infinite 2. Gameplay was there, keep the team together, and do a second pass to just improve. I think we could have done a good job. And from there, he notes how this project was scrapped. But plans completely changed when new leadership took over 343 in September of 2022. They quickly decided to switch to Unreal Engine for future Halo games and canceled the Halo Infinite 2 project. Interestingly, he then notes that Microsoft laid off the entire creative of 343 employees that were training in Unreal Engine to begin working on the next Halo game. Then, his source informed him the idea that when new leadership took over, That it somehow enabled more clarity into what was actually happening is laughable. Let's just that campaign leadership. I'm assuming that's supposed to say, let's just say that campaign leadership never felt supported by the new leadership. And I bet if you talk to most of the people that got laid off, they would say new leadership would outsource campaign content. And I would assume outsourcing via DEI, hires, people that ruin games. It seems apparently that they did not support them giving they were laid off. I mean, just look at that right there, and that explains a lot. This rumor comes in the wake of Microsoft rebranding 343 into Halo Studios and announcing it is completely changing the recipe for how they make Halo games, beginning with development taking place in Unreal Engine 5. And then Vice President and Studio Head Pierre Hintez said Halo Infinite was the last remnant of how we made Halo games in the past. That was our recipe, and what we are doing right now is we are changing our recipe. So instead of it being crap, now you want to change it to pure shit. He elaborated on this with Xbox Wire. If you really break Halo down, there have been two very distinct chapters. Chapter 1, Bungie, the good version, and then Chapter 2, 343 Industries, the shit version. Now I think we have an audience which is hungry for more. Yeah, keep up that delusion there. I don't think you do. I think you're losing more people than you are thinking that they're asking for more. So we're not just going to try to improve the efficiency of development, but change the recipe of how we make Halo games. So we start a new chapter today. Is the recipe like not giving a crap about Halo in general and then just making one circle jerk game? Dude, look at this. This does not do Master Chief justice. He looks fat as hell. And Master Chubbs, as I said on X. And it just doesn't look right. Like, something about it just doesn't look right. I mean, I guess you could say he's like squished. I mean, you've seen people make comparisons. Like, people are making comparisons from the OG to like what's happening now. But this just looks awful in my opinion. What do you make of this rumor that the company was working on Halo Infinite 2 for at least a couple of years, but subsequently scrapped the project? How much money do you think they spent on this project that they ultimately shut down? Oh, I'm sure a good chunk of change. Remember when Scalebound got shut down? I was looking forward to Scalebound. That would have been amazing. And then the little assholes canceled it for some bullshit reason. But yeah, I mean, people are already digging up like the head team people and stuff like that, and you can find them on like LinkedIn and stuff like that. And you're seeing it. You're seeing the weeds like strangling around Halo. Halo might as well be like done. If you're any sort of a Halo fan, like I played all of the games, the story and stuff. I like it. I'm not a hardcore one, but I mean, Halo's to me is done. Same with like but I say like same with Call of Duty and all that stuff too. Like those games just get tiring after a while. And I'm someone who likes repetition, you know, my autism. You would think with that I would really like these games, but I don't. I mean, if I started up like Black Ops 1 or 2 again, I'm sure I'd get sucked in. But that was when it was awesome, you know? Now it's just stale and repetitive. Doop-a-doop. So, this isn't the Konami article talking about how they're now trying to hide the post that stating that the remake was designed for modern audiences. But I did think this was funny. This also comes from Video Game Chronicle. Scotty says I don't like the newer Halo games. Yeah, me neither. This seems funny. The Silent Hill 2 remake was quickly patched because the Italian subtitles spoiled the ending. Amazing. So apparently you hear a distorted radio message earlier in the game, and I guess it's not that distorted. So you literally hear a main character kind of tell the ending. Like reveal what happened. Now, I'll be nice and I'll say spoilers, but I'm assuming people have played Silent Hill 2. And if not, I'm sure people are watching it being played. So spoilers. I don't have like a spoiler like text or banner or anything like that. I need to get off my ass and like improve things. They did what the original was against, blending with the crowd. Yes. Oh, Hail, you mean? Yeah. Let me pull this back up. So the Silent Hill 2 remake received a speedy patch after it was discovered the game's Italian subtitles spoil the ending early on. I'm aware of the story and depth of Silent Hill 2 OG. Good, because Scotty, I will say that you probably know more about it than Bluebird Team does. And I've already shared my opinion on. Everyone's like saying like, "Oh, Silent Hill 2 remake is doing so good. It's being ranked really well, and it's showing the doubters." Smoke and mirrors, dude. Smoke and mirrors. I made a post about it, and someone got butthurt about it and was like, "Oh, you're just moving the goalposts, cope harder." You keep saying that, but there's like thousands of video games that have DEI on it are doing successful. They always go to Baldur's Gate 3, and it's like, dude, having a shit ton of debauchery in a game doesn't mean that, that's what made the game good. Baldur's Gate 3 like did not have the charm of the original Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And that debauchery stuff could be taken out and the game would be even better because that's literally what 1 and 2 did. The overwhelmingly positive is going to go downward pretty soon the longer people notice and play the original. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But pretty much Silent Hill 2 is... I was thinking about this today. Silent Hill 2, if you want an example, like an equivalent of kind of what I think Silent Hill 2 is, Silent Hill 2 is like the equivalent of when a politician passes a law that like the main portion of it, everyone's like, "Oh, this is good. Like, this is what people were asking for," and stuff like that. But they stuff in a bunch of other shit that actually makes it bad. But people are too stupid to read through the whole thing, to actually see like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in here that like they just wanted to weasel in and sneak in. This is what Silent Hill 2 is doing. It's the smoke and mirrors. Take away the DEI in this game, and I guarantee you not only would it still get the same results that people are claiming like, "Oh, it's so good" and stuff, I guarantee you it would be even better. You want to know why? Because that's what the OG did. And the creator of Silent Hill 2 has shared his thoughts on it. Read what he said. The only thing he's praising about the remake and why he thought the remake is enjoyable is because the camera software that they were using, he didn't like using it in the past, and that now because of the recent technology and doing like the Resident Evil remake style third person over the shoulder, he said, "Yeah, this is a good. Well, this technology helps do what I wish I could have done back in the day." And he straight up says, regardless that good or bad, referring to the remake, you still have the OG. So don't let them try to use that, to talk about how Silent Hill 2 sticking to it. Like, look at this. Clearly bastardized. I watched the pyramid scene, the infamous pyramid scene, completely changes the representation of that scene by having him just, I don't even know, how would you describe it? Like just manhandling, I guess, the mannequin figures as opposed to like, banging them and stuff like that. Like, for heaven's sakes, like completely changes it. Like, this info is out here. Pyramid Head represents is the manifestation of James's frustration, and for him to be punished. The mannequin is the manifestation of him with the hospital, with the braces that Mary was like wearing when she was ill, and also represents his lust, frustration. So literally, Pyramid Head banging those mannequin dolls is James's frustration of being unable to, one, because they wanted a kid and they couldn't have a kid anymore since Mary was ill. So literally, like, that scene is like a quick representation of James being sexually frustrated. Like, you can read about this. They had to get rid of it. I think they, like, from what I heard, it sounded like they had, like, zipper noises to, like, indicate, like, and that's the other thing, too. Like, a lot of the stuff is, like, patchwork and stuff like that. Like, they're doing stitch things when, like, it's anyway, final boss scene in the remake is terrible. They completely neutered the game's edge. Yeah, I've been watching Varadark play it, and, yeah, it looks soulless. Anyway, back to what we were talking about, Silent Hill 2. Near the start of the game, James finds a radio which he used throughout the rest of his journey to help the player detect monsters. It makes progressively loud static noises as they approach. So when James finds the radio the first time, he hears a message from, spoiler, his wife, Mary, which is heavily distorted and broken up. As such, it's impossible to actually make out what Mary's saying because only small sounds from individual words can be heard. In most languages, the game's subtitle matched this, showing a couple of letters separated by dots. But the Italian subtitle reveals a bit too much of the message, spoiling the game's ending. Specifically, as noted by users on the game's Reddit page, the Italian subtitle revealed that part of Mary's radio message to James is, "Why did you kill me?" Ruining the game's twist for those who don't already know it. Oh my gosh. How do you just, like, let that slip? The game has since been swiftly patched. I'm not reading that number. New patch version, which changes the subtitles to ensure Italian players to remain in the dark until they're actually supposed to find out what happened to Mary. Whoops. The funny thing regarding the lust is that all of it is fan theory and not supported directly by the story. Also, they made James more heroic than he should be. In the original, it was clear he was not a good man. No, exactly. The funny thing about the lust is that all of it is fan theory and not supported directly by the story. No, but it's heavily implied is the thing. And that's what you get into it. Like, I literally, like, read a little bit more about it. I mean, I took what I was reading with a grain of salt, but you can clear, like, it's Pyramid Head, we know, is James' manifestation of like his punishment for what he did. Maria is obviously a manifestation of James's version of Mary that he wants to, like, that's manifesting, you know, to compensate for the guilt of what he did. Like, we know that and stuff like that. And I mean, it's obviously implied because they wanted a kid and stuff like that. And we learn towards the end of the game, James, like, was being abused because Mary was just, you know, constantly hitting him and insulting him, and became, you know, he couldn't have kids, so he became sexually frustrated there. Like, it's there. You can find it. But yeah, one of the biggest thing was, in fact, that the pyramid thing was made to be erotic. That was the thing. That was his frustration. There are allusions to his frustration in present. However, you get to better know what's going on by playing it rather than watching people talk about it. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah. But I mean, stuff that I've read, like actual quotes from stuff too, like the directors obviously had something they want, but, you know, that's Silent Hill for you. A lot of things, you know, you can find out, like, and come to conclusions in separate ways, you know, but obviously it had a direction. Anyway. Oh, that's all that's all it was. And then they're just boasting about how it's doing awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they have a thing here saying the remake proves the doubters wrong. No, it didn't prove anything wrong. It didn't prove the doubters wrong. In fact, it asserted that the doubters were right because they did defeminize Mary and Maria. They did take out scenes that made Silent Hill 2 iconic. I don't care how corny they were. I saw that they straight up got rid of the pizza scene. He's now eating a tub of popcorn. They straight up have her old outfit and she pulls it out and they mock you by saying, oh, it's right here. It's right here. But you can't equip it. Yet they went out of their way to do it. Why? See, they hide behind like Easter eggs and, You know, oh, it's a callback and stuff like that. No. No. Again, I don't deny the fact that it can definitely be a good game. It can be a solid game. But don't tell me that it's, you know, this is what they do. Because it's a good game in other aspects, they'll say, oh, so, you know, see, it's DEI and it worked. It's like, no, like it would work even better if it wasn't there to begin with. He's what? No pizza? Unless I missed it. I mean, unless I missed it, I joined Vara's stream when she was streaming it, and it was in the bowling alley theater scene. I think they even changed it to a theater scene. And they showed the pizza box, and I think they just said, you really wolfed it down, and he's just eating the tub of popcorn. And I asked, I said, did they straight up just remove the pizza scene? And I think they did. Here, we have internet. We have technology. We can find out right now. Silent Hill 2 pizza scene. Eddie Pizza. Remake. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything talking about like the pizza scene. I mean, I guess I could just YouTube it. Silent Hill 2. And there's already people modding stuff anyway. Silent Hill 2 remake pizza. Eddie eating pizza full scene. I mean, I am praying and hoping I'm wrong. Yeah, it looks like they're in a theater. He comes up, sees Eddie sitting there. Yep, lifts up the box.
At least you're not out yet.
Says, I see you haven't made it out yet. He's licking his fingers.
Out yet?
Has the tub of popcorn.
Yeah. I just didn't get around to it yet.
I see. I got. Yeah, they got rid of it. They're implying it, but they got rid of it. Okay, so I didn't miss it. Stupid. I hate that they can't just let the game be for being silly to help really enhance the horror. That's what some people were saying about the outfit and stuff. Oh, it's too dated. That's the whole fucking point. Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill is dated. That doesn't mean just because it's dated does not mean you have to make it like bring it up to current day of age, you know? I hate this crap. My prime example, Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus. They literally rebuilt the game ground up and did not change a fucking thing. It is not that hard to do. Not that hard to do. Well, in any case, there you go. So, sorry, Italian friends out there, that if you wanted to play the game, had the subtitles on and pretty much got it spoiled for you because some retard forgot to fix the subtitles. I guess we'll go ahead and we'll move on over to also talking about Silent Hill 2. So this is also being discussed. Konami deletes post announcing Silent Hill 2 remake was designed for modern audience. There you go. They want to hide the fact that they said this was being made for modern audiences. And look at this right here. See, I watched the OG. I watched their new trailer before the game release, and I said, it kind of looks like the models they may have fixed it. James for sure, because people complained that James looked old, and they made him somewhat young again. And then this right here doesn't look too bad, but apparently, like, they'll claim, oh, you're taking a screenshot of like at the most inopportune time or just a really bad, pause section, like they'll say that. But then you have people doing stuff like this, showcasing, yeah, see, they look fine. And it's like, no, they don't. Like Maria looks awful. What's her name? Angela looks awful too. Gosh. And again, it's totally fine for James to either be aged down or aged young. But for the females, nope. They got to be as neutral looking as possible because we don't want to upset the troons out there. Can't have too much femininity. That'd be bad. You gotta manify them up. So anyway, Konami, the publisher of Blooper Team's upcoming remake of Silent Hill 2, deleted their post announcing the game was designed for modern audiences. The original game is set in an era that's long gone. To modernize it really hurts it. Ironically, it is the women who have the worst performance in the game. Oh, dude, the acting of Maria is awful. Absolutely awful. That was the other thing, too, while watching a Vara stream. Like the acting, I was like, dude, you're as stiff as the lying figures and the mannequins. Like, oh my gosh, this is awful. They have ethereal presence, but the remake feels like a stage play. Everyone's giving it like an 8, a 9. I'm sure someone gave it a 10 out of 10. I'd give it like a 6, 7. 7 being generous. Like, it's an okay game. That's it. Like, it's soulless. Angela's performance is stilted when it should be way more sensitive. Also, I hate that Maria talks so much with you. It's been a long time since I played the OG, but yeah, I don't remember Maria talking to you that much about stuff. So they deleted the post. At the end of May, Konami published a post on X that has since been deleted where it announced, see how the Blooper Team devs work on Silent Hill 2, preserved authenticity. No, they didn't. While adapting a horror classic for modern audiences. See, retarded statements like this should just not be made at all. Preserved authenticity literally means you don't fucking touch a damn thing. And all you're doing is updating it to like the current technology. Like, for example, that's fine if you want to make it the third person over the shoulder type of game. Resident Evil did it and it's super successful. Again, Shadow of the Colossus remake. Perfect example of how simple it actually is to do it. You just read about, when they decided what they wanted to do, how they developed it and stuff like that. And it's like, that's all you have to do. That's literally all you have to do. But no, there always has to be something attached to it. You have to hire retarded consultants that no one asked for. Then you have to get, DEI consultants. Preserved authenticity is such a loaded term, especially when modern audiences are in the same sentence. Exactly. The post also included a video that features the game's lead producer, whoever that is, stating, I think the biggest change that we've had was actually how to make the game approachable for the newcomers who have not played it original, but at the same time to retain the familiarity of the game that players remember for 20 years ago. You want to know what you do? Is you literally remake the game like it was 20 years ago. And, if they build it, they will come. This is exactly what Shadow of the Colossus did. Like, why can no one replicate what Shadow of the Colossus did? I'm not talking in terms of technology per se, but I'm talking about the mindset. Because that's all they did with Shadow of the Colossus. We want to rebuild this game from the ground up. That's it. That's all you have to do. I think they screwed themselves over by saying how to make the game approachable when honestly it should be for the fans. I mean, we're seeing waves, so, you know, again, honestly, with the Silent Hill 2 remake, I have no problem getting the game when it's like super cheap and when mods are out there that fix this this stupid shit. I have no problem playing it. Right now, for what I'm seeing, it's like a 6, 7. Everyone's saying it's like an 8, 9 are fooling themselves. Especially when stuff that people talk about, the pizza scene, Pyramid Head, and the mannequin dolls. You know, Angela being creepy as shit. Like, that stuff carries over through time. And people still talk about it today. And what's your answer to introduce the game to newcomers? You get rid of it. It doesn't. It's like we're gonna replace parts of the game that people are still talking about to this day, and we're just gonna remove it because it'll still have the same effect, right? No, because all they're gonna do is, yeah, remember the OG? They have this scene in there, and then people will look at the OG and go, oh yeah, why didn't they keep that in? Give it like 1 or 2 weeks and it's going to be mixed. I mean, I've already said this is a smoke and mirrors game. And by all means, I'm not saying it's a bad game. Like a bad game would be like a 3 or something like that. You know, I don't think a game could be ranked a 1 because it's like, well, the game was made. There's your 1 right there. You actually at least made something. Is it a game? I don't know. Anyway, I'm like scrolling down here. And then creative designer and lead director, whoever, added, our goal from the very beginning was to maintain the game's atmosphere while modernizing the gameplay to make it competitive in 2024. There you go. There's your hint right there. If people are talking about how the atmosphere of the game is solid while modernizing the gameplay, then they've succeeded in tricking people. You can have a sweet atmosphere all you want. Does the story still hold up? The gameplay. I mean, even this term, modernize the gameplay. Like, what does that mean? Like, you made it so that you can now have more control with the camera angle. Okay, sure. One would be the game function, but doesn't elicit any kind of reaction. Very true. The video also featured commentary from Barbara, Blue Team senior narrative designer, who explained how the company changed the story. In the remake, the story remains largely the same. However, with the magic of modern technology, we're able to expand on some of its aspect. Why? Dude, with modern technology, the phrase being able to expand some of its aspects should not even be in your mindset. If anything, it'd be like, good, we can now make this like with today's technology. That should be it. The hardest was designing combat. We want to be as faithful as possible to the original game, but we also want players to feel satisfaction while playing. Remember that we need to fit in the horror genre in Audible. I'm sorry, but like the game, like again, while watching people play it, like it's straight up the Resident Evil remake. Like I saw someone like on X post about like, hey, did you know that when like one of the enemies, you can shoot them in the leg and they'll kind of drop, and then you can use your melee weapon to bash them? It's like you're joking, right? Like that sort of thing was done in Resident Evil 4, where you shoot them in areas that will stun them, and then to conserve your ammo, you can go up and like punch them, snap their neck, or do whatever. Like you didn't figure that out? Like you're joking, right? Like it's been done. And this guy's saying it was hardest to design in combat. Okay, sure. It's because part of the camera angle is part of the combat, especially with Resident Evil back in the day. That like the camera angle itself was part of the suspense, was part of the combat, because you didn't know rounding a corner that there's a zombie right around there until you literally see it right up in your face and you go, oh shit, and then you respond, appropriately. I also hate that they made it competitive in 2024. Same with the term modernizing. I know. Patiently wait when people much later tear the game to shreds. It competes with Resident Evil 2 or RE2R, which is a dumb choice. So this post for Konami appeared to confirm suspicion that the game was being injected with the DEI agenda by Bluebird Team and the video game consultancy Hit Detection, following the redesign of the character Angela that was showing off during the PlayStation State of Play in May. And then Lawyer Manga shared his suspicion. And then, of course, you have Hit Detection employee Jacob Geller recently confirmed that the company did indeed work on the game. He shared a screenshot of the credits and wrote on X, "I consulted on the Silent Hill 2 remake. I had a really great experience working for the team. Because of this, I won't be really able to talk about it publicly. Have fun figuring out your own takes." So it's unclear as to why Konami decided to delete the post. However, a rumor from Endymion indicated that video game developers would attempt to hide the woke propaganda by no longer marketing it publicly. Yep. He shared, according to my sources, and this was one of the most damning allegations, so please listen carefully here, is that the game industry across plenty of studios will start to market their games as being devoid of identity politics and pandering almost completely. Yeah, and Kirsch is talking about how they're just changing it from, since they know DEI is a damn label, they're changing it now to like what, Bridge or something like that. So yeah, of course they're going to start doing shit like this. Of course they're going to be. Again, this is exactly what politicians do when they like passed a bill or an act or something like that. And the main portion, everyone's like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. Yeah. And then you read all the other stuff that they put in there because they could get away with it. Because people won't read the whole thing, and it's stuff that benefits them, not benefits the people. Bridge and a few other labels, yeah. However, the actual content within these games in the future will not be altered or lessened in terms of identity politics, political content, despite this tonal change in marketing continued. Simply put, many studios and publishers are still all in on DEI and wokeness in the future. Like, they're not changing that, and they still want you to consume this content, whether you want to or not. But they will now sell you the games by marketing them to trick you into thinking that they're not woke, basically. And, I kind of pointed this out with even the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered HD version on how they advertised that it wasn't changed. Yeah, they put that retarded trigger warning, but they ultimately said, yeah, we didn't change anything. And then someone pointed out, yeah, those posters are changed. And so then it was like, oh, my bad. When we were doing stuff, we forgot to fix it. And then they put the posters back in. But it's not the same posters. It was like they added the name of like what then became Lara Croft, So now it's like, okay. I mean, I could take you at face value and say, yeah, maybe it was just a programming mistake. And you did just forget to do something. Like with the jiggle physics of Lollipop Chainsaw. But, that opens up the thing. Now this could be like, is that false advertisement? I don't know, like, if that's a business, like what the actual business term of that sort of practice would be. But it's, it's to say one thing just so they can get your money, only to find out later that they'll change it. Like video games, for example, they're saying, oh yeah, there's no DEI in it whatsoever. You buy the game, then they release a patch, and then they censor stuff. It's like, whoa, that's not what I paid for, buddy. Like, that's what I'm worried about. And this is kind of like something that I wouldn't be surprised that game studios would start doing this. And this is what Endymion's talking about. But anyway, what do you make of Konami deleting the post where it confirmed the game was made for the modern audiences? Scummy. That's what I think. Scummy. And again, I don't mind. Like, I'm sure I'd probably play the remake at some point, but I'm going to be looking for those mods to like make it as close to the OG as possible because that's what everyone wanted in the first place. Now, unfortunately, that can't fix like the acting and stuff like that. The acting is stiff. The acting is stiff. Alas. All right, so this was the other one that really caught my eye that I kind of used as one of the other main topics we'll be talking about. It's that Japanese talent agency partners with AI company and won't dub English anime. Uh-oh. Japanese voice actors may soon be able to dub in English with the help of AI. So according to Oricon News, Ioni Productions has partnered with Cofont to begin creating a digital portfolio of their talents' voices. For now, these voices are expressly intended for novelties like digital assistants and expressly won't be used for creative acting endeavors. Ioni Productions represents some of the largest talents in the anime industry, including Masako Nozawa, who voices Goku in the Dragon Ball franchise. And Cofont's AI voice technology will be used to translate the appealing voice data of voice actors belonging to Aoni Production into multiple languages, including English and Chinese. The company will provide and propose high-quality, multilingual AI voices primarily for voice assistants. For example, Amazon, Alexa, Google Assistants, robots and products equipped with voice navigation, like Pepper medical devices, I'm assuming GPS. Both companies emphasize that they will not provide service relating to the, quote, acting field, such as animation and dubbing for foreign language films. They will create multilingual AI voices, excluding the acting field. I'm holding my breath on that one, because we're already seeing it happen in the localization for manga, because people are tired of it. It's like we'd rather have a stick correct translation than some retarded, self-inserted, localized ideology that has nothing to do with the story or anything. Conversely, some fans have welcomed the growing potential of AI to cut out Western localizers and voice actors, while their defenders maintain that the use of AI undermines the work's integrity. Nah, I'd make the argument that the activists who are also actors undermine the work's integrity. That's what I say. Because, again, back in the day, this wasn't really a problem. And if there was a problem, it was all kept behind the scenes. Like, it didn't affect the final product. So you could enjoy the product, even though people of different ideologies may have worked on it, or there may have been some frustrations behind the scenes. Again, I've had Doug TenNapel on, I've had Ruben Langdon on, I've had Vic Mignogna on, and they all say the same thing. Is none of this stuff was there back in the day. And if it was kept behind the scene, or it got resolved, or no one talked about it. Now, of course, because with the no one talked about it, the activists will say, well, yeah, that's because, it wasn't all equal, it wasn't diverse and stuff, and the minorities in the past, didn't have their voices heard and X, Y, Z and blah, 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 blah. Well, and yet there were people, the supposed oppressed people, who did succeed because it was based on their merit, on their character, on I don't care about it, like I will work hard and if I get hired for it, great. Not based on I follow the right ideology, therefore I deserve XYZ, handouts. And that's the funny thing too. Like, remember with the Bleach thing, like didn't the OG voice actor of what's his face, Chaz or something from Bleach, like he stepped down so someone who isn't fairly represented in the voice acting industry could take it, but then it turned out that it was like some white guy from Florida or something like that. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but it wasn't supposedly the people that he was stepping down to give them a chance, which is a nice way of saying handout, which means you people are inferior, therefore me being the good chap that I am and giving you a handout. It's like, that's not how it works at all. If they want to be good actors, they should practice. and then hopefully they'll get hired based on their merit. But that's the other thing about the dubbing industry too. So a lot of dubbing industry still has those retarded high school cliques. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And they're all friends. And so they'll all just keep giving each other the same roles over and over and over again. Like that for sure needs to be fixed. But interesting stuff. So right now they're saying, yeah, we're not going to replace anything in the acting field. I hold my breath on that. Chad, that's right. What did I say? Did I say Chase? I was close. I knew it started with a CHA. He went from Jameson Pierce to Mark Warden, who is as white as yogurt. What did I tell you? That's why I don't feel bad like when these union people say like you need to go on strike with us. Otherwise, you're not helping all the unfortunate people, the low levels. And then someone like that just goes like, dude, I got to pay the bills. Fuck it. I'm auditioning. Oh, I got the job. Fuck you. I'll do it. If I can't make it work, then I'm not in the right field, But again, I'm not holding my breath on this. Like, I definitely foresee in the future that it will slowly start blending into the voice acting community as well. Because we already heard, there's already stuff out there that people can straight up like get voices of already established people. It's already out there. It's creepy, but it's there. But that, believe it or not, that's kind of like the negative news, I guess you could say. Let's look at some positive stuff. Like, for example, Dragon Ball franchise to continue after Dragon Ball Daima, we're still coming up with various plans. So apparently it's planning to continue following the release of the upcoming new anime series Daima, according to the show's executive producer, Akio Ioku. During a promotional event of Daima, ex-user Supa Chronicles reports that Akio shared that his team is already working behind the scenes on the future of Dragon Ball. He states, we're still coming up with various plans, brainstorming many things, and we'll keep moving forward. I want to continue giving it my all alongside Nozawa-san. I am interested, though. Who did... does anyone know, like, who Toriyama left the Dragon Ball franchise to? Because didn't Akira, like, have a son or something? So Daima will stream in North America on Crunchyroll beginning on October 11th, and then it'll be available a week later on Netflix on October 18th. Dan, I really hoped it was just Netflix because I would have laughed my ass off if Crunchyroll no longer had its strong grip on it. But alas, it looks like they do. But it may not have a strong grip because Stephanie's returning in Daima. And then the first 3 episodes will be released in theaters via Fathom Events in the United States November 10th, 11th, and 12th. As for what to expect, the late Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, shared in a statement that is available on the show's website. Currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title is Dragon Ball Daima. It's a made-up term, which is Japanese character would be, or in English, which in Japanese character would be ... or in English would be something like evil. He continued, due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. It's a grand adventure with intense action in an unknown and mysterious world. Since Goku has to make up for his petite size, he uses his Niobo, power pole, to fight something not seen in a long time. And then Toriyama also shared, I came up with the story and settings, as well as a lot of the designs. I'm actually putting a lot more into this than usual. He concluded things will unfold that close in on the mysteries of the Dragon Ball world. Hope you all enjoy this different from usual battles that are cute and powerful. I'm honestly not interested in Daima. I got my chibi fill in GT that I recently rewatched not too long ago. And then an official description of the show states, Goku Mini and Supreme Kai Mini, who have been turned small through a, quote, conspiracy in the new characters Glorio and Pansy, partake in an exciting adventure in the demon realm to the music of the opening theme song. Additionally, the trailer reveals characters who are being shown for the first time, such as an unknown person who looks like Supreme Kai, a character reminiscent of a woman who sits with a mysterious smile, and the shadows of monsters that lurk in the demon realm. With the unveiling of new characters, the mystery of the Dragon Ball Daima grows deeper, it concludes. And then what do you make of the Dragon Ball franchise continuing forward without creator Akira Toriyama? I mean, I've stated this many times. I think Dragon Ball GT put a nice button on the Dragon Ball universe. There's definitely a lot of writing that could have been fleshed out better. I think it did a lot better than what a lot of people gave it back in the day, and I was one of those people. And it's interesting to note that a lot of elements from GT are slowly starting to make their way into like Super and now Daima, especially the Chibi turn in small God of Destruction concept. Like I was literally playing Budokai 3 and they talk about the God of Destruction, meaning Broly. GT had flaws, but it was enjoyable at the same time. Yeah. Yep. And again, with Super, I like the manga. I don't like the animation quality and even the art style. I think Z was the best art style. End of Z, your Majin Buu saga. But each art style was unique, like from Saiyan to Frieza to Android. So this is a funny one. Apparently there's a Shinobi movie announced by Sega and Universal Pictures. They're working on a new Shinobi movie adaptation with Extraction franchise director Sam Hargrave directing. Excuse me. Details on the new Shinobi movie are scant, and it isn't clear if the new film will be animated or live action, as Universal handled both the animated Super Mario Brothers movie and the live action Five Nights at Freddy movie. So Ken Kobayashi, Sonny Move On, is adapting the screenplay for Universal Pictures, as both Mark Platt and Adam Siegel will produce through Mark Platt Productions. Dimitri M. Johnson will also produce through Story Kitchen. Toru Nakahara will produce through Sega, and Mike Goldberg will executive produce alongside Timothy I. Stevenson, who is co-producing. And then here's a brief overview of the Shinobi franchise via Sega. The Shinobi series first debuted in 1987 as an arcade game and primarily follows protagonist Joe Musashi as a modern-day ninja who confronts great evil. Crafted with a focus on epic and edgy action, the Shinobi franchise spanned 14 games, including spin-offs and ports, 5M plus copies sold worldwide, and then a new entry in the series was revealed in late 2023. And then apparently there's an editor note, featured artwork from the 2002 Shinobi game released on the PlayStation 2. I actually had this, and I think I got rid of it because I don't know. I kept trying to start it, and I just stopped. But I did play the Sega Genesis Return of Shinobi. That's a good game. It's been a long time since I played it, but I did beat it. I do remember the cheat where you can get infinite shurikens, where you go in the option menu and you go down to shuriken amount. And I think you put it at 0, and then you just sit there for a while, and then it turns into infinity sign. Definitely needed. But that was from Niche Gamer, and then Video Game Chronicle also covered it. I wonder if they pretty much say the same thing. Yeah, pretty much. They're just giving you more detail of the people involved, like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Drive, La La Land, live action versions of The Little Mermaid and Snow White. Well, that's not good. And then the majority of the Shinobi games revolve around Joe Musashi, respecting ninja who battles against the evil Zed crime syndicate. I'm assuming Zed. Oh, Zed would be Z-E-D, so that would be Zed. But I'm thinking like Z, like from Japan. They don't have a Z, they have Zed. And then there hasn't been a new Shinobi game since 2011, the 3DS title Shinobi 3D. Sega has confirmed that a new game in the series is in development. And at the Game Awards, the company said it was developing a new entries in the Jet Set Radio, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Shinobi, and Crazy Taxi series. Oh yeah, I remember reading that. Interesting. And then Sega has been enjoying cinematic success with Sonic the Hedgehog movies, the third of which is set to be released on December 20, with Keanu Reeves playing Shadow. And then, obviously, the Super Mario Brothers became the second highest grossing film of 2023, just behind Barbie, second grossest animated film of all time, though it's since dropped out. dropped a place because of Inside Out 2. Well, there you go. So, very interesting. Yeah, I actually played that one. Really good game. Well, we're beyond 2 hours here, but we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at this day in gaming. Go back a day since it's the 9th, not the 10th. And we'll check out, see what games we've got. Got your Dragon Slayer, Fallout, Star Wars, Jedi Knight, Dark Forces. Ooh, Way of the Samurai. I've actually wanted to play Way of the Samurai series. Ooh, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Any Bleach fans? You got your Shattered Blade, Blade of Fate. Retro City Rampage. And Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. Whatever. Middle Earth, Shadow of War, Mistover. And you got your recent ones here. Let's check out. Let's see. What does Moby Games say about this? Windows version of Tom Clancy Rainbow Six, United Kingdom. Medieval. Wait, YouTube? 2006. YouTube is purchased by Google. Wow, there you guys go. Today's the day where everything went downhill for YouTube. Everything started becoming crap. Oh, that's funny. Heading off for now. Glad I tuned in. Hope your day is well. My day was good. My day was good. And we are indeed winding down on the show too. So thanks for everyone for hanging out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Uh-oh, Dragon Ball Z for Connect was released today. Uh-oh. It's probably the one Dragon Ball Z game I will never play. See, we're still in 2014. Just checking out, see if any games pop out towards me too. They just throw it at me. Not really seeing anything. Nope. But there you go. Alrighty, that's all I had for you guys today. Again, thanks for hanging out to me. We're on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So again, smash the subscribe, punch the thumbs up, ring the bell to get notified when I go live. You can feel free to follow me on X as well. And you can find my other social medias listed in the description below. I always appreciate the help of pushing the algorithm. And then, of course, if you want to go beyond that in terms of helping the channel, you can always check out membership subscription tiers or my locals, or direct donations too, I think, inside of the description. But I'm humbled and blessed regardless. Oh, let's see. Is there anybody on that we can direct towards? Do some raiding, What do we got? Anybody on YouTube? Oh, my boy, Drunk 3PO is on. Prayers for him and Krista and everybody in Florida. Anybody in Florida. Prayers for them for sure. Because they are not doing well. They're not doing well. But yeah. We'll raid Drunk 3PO over on YouTube. Support him. Check you guys later. Take care. God bless. Catch you on the flip side. And peace.